Our name for it is berry eye, says the stag. The berry eyes are themselves the final mark before a great heat savages them from within. These ones do not have long. The plague moves them from beast to beast with the greatest of ease. No water, no leaf, no amount of rest can bring relief. As if the virus itself is listening, the she-deer standing in front of him is racked by a huge cough, her skinny body spasming and shuddering before her legs give way and she collapses onto the ground. The other deer crowd round, nudging her back up again while the stag watches. It is a mystery to us in every way, but we cannot allow it to spread further. After these have gone, then it will be the turn of others, and then we will all be gone. This sickness will not stop until it has driven us from the earth, and then... He stops abruptly, like he was going to say something else, but he doesn't. He just looks up at the sky, the first bright sky I have seen for years, the first sky with a sun, not filled with dark clouds. I can't believe he's saying that they're going to die right in front of them, but the infected animals don't even blink. I take a step back. Why are you showing me? What do you expect me to do about it? The words sound harder outside my head than they did inside, but I didn't mean them to. The stag shakes his horns like he's astonished. A murmur runs through the crowd. Why do you think, young human? Because you can help us? To find a cure? But I'm just a boy. I mean, the best scientists in the world, they've tried. You are a boy who can hear us and speak for us. You can tell your fellow men that the last wild still lives and bring us a cure, a special cure from your human magic. Human magic that's failed so far. But I can't. Talk to other humans, I mean. The humans has many ways of making himself understood. Of that I am sure. The stag bends his head and front legs like he's bowing. But we only have you. I have one last try. I still don't understand why you chose me. You spoke to us. You spoke to the moth, the cockroach. You have the gift of the voice. I shake my head. That's what the pigeon said in my room, but I don't have any gift, apart from getting further and further away from home, it seems. The stag fixes me squarely in the eye. When we heard that there was a boy who tried to talk to us, we decided to summon you here. I wasn't talking to them. I was... The words falter in my head before they are out as I look at the last animals left in the world, led by a great stag, all waiting on me. He repeats himself one more time. The question is, now you are here, will you help us? I look around at the rock behind me, the dark water beyond, the silver trees stretching on for miles around its edge. The middle of nowhere, full of animals with red eye, animals who will die if I don't help them. The last animals ever. A wild, he called them. I think some more. There is one small chance, so small, but it is the only chance they have. I take a step towards the stag and I say it. I don't have the magic to find a cure for the berry eye. The animals cry out in despair. But my father is a famous scientist, a human magician who works with animals. He might be able to help. A buzz of chatter sweeps through the wild. The stag quiets them down and turns to me again. You are sure of this? You are sure your father's magic can cure the berry eye? No, I'm not. 6 years have passed and I have heard nothing. People still live in cities under glass roofs, eating facto-made formula. The countryside is still a quarantine zone, and as I can see right in front of me, the virus is still very much raging. But maybe, in 6 years, Dad has made some progress. I just nod, and to my surprise the animals scatter. The stag barks again, but they don't listen. They're panicking, stampeding. The sound of animals of all kinds trampling and splashing across the shore fills the air. What did I say? The stag lowers his head and growls, like he's going to charge at me. Kester, call all the pigeons from above. Look out! It's too late. A creature thumps straight into me from behind, sending me flying to the ground. The wind knocked clean out of my chest so I can barely breathe. I try to move, but heavy, sharp claws are pressing into my back. There's a smell of rotten meat just behind my ear. A low, hoarse voice whisper, with a hiss. Who did this? Who let a human into the ring of trees? I gasp for air. The weight crushes me further and further into the pulpy ground. Let the man-child go, orders the stag. The creature just passes his heavy foot further down onto my back, growling deep in his throat. I try to twist my head round and catch a glimpse of a long snout, the back lips pulled back over the teeth. No human may enter the ring of trees, it snarls. A wet nose runs all over my back and neck, snuffling and sucking. There is no point talking to this thing. Then another hissing breath. We must destroy it. My head pressed into the mulch. All I can see out of the corner of my eye is the stag bowing his huge head of horns. Noble guardian, the blame lies with me. I summoned the man-child here. We discovered he had the voice. I sent the pigeons and the cockroaches to collect him. He will go to the humans and tell them that this last wild still lives, that it is not too late to save us. His father is a great human who will deliver a magic cure. The beast on my back grunts and sniffs me once more. No human has ever been allowed within the ring of trees since we first arrived. It is only our vigilance that has kept us alive till now. We are guardians of this world, not you. He grinds his paw deeper into my back. I went to tell him that the berry eye arrived before I did, and I try to speak, but nothing comes out. What if the human in question has come to help us? Asked the stag. The only help a human can offer us will be the kind that aids our own destruction. The stag peers down at me, trapped face down on the ground. I'm choking on moss and mud. He paces around for a moment, like he's thinking, before saying to the beast, "Very well, then I will fight you for him." The snouted creature heaves his body round and gives a high-pitched howl. Other whines come back at him from all sides. There are more of these things, whatever they are. Then the thing lifts his foot off me and air rushes back into my lungs. I manage to crawl out of the light to the edge of the woods. My sight slowly swims back to normal, everything coming into focus. I can just make out the stag to my right, pawing the ground, his head lowers. Behind him, the last wild huddled together for safety, reaching far back along the shore. I can see why they are scared of the thing that knocked me to the ground, the thing about to take on the stag. He's the leader of a 7-strong pack, animals I have only ever seen once before, on a screen in Dad's lab. I take a quick picture of them with my watch, just to be sure I'm not dreaming. Wolves. They're definitely wolves. Their fur is greyish-brown. They have long snouts and sharp teeth, and even sharper-looking claws on their giant padded feet. The largest one, the one who jumped me, has grizzled fur around his jaw. He's so large it's a miracle he didn't snap me in half. The youngest of the pack, a cub about half the size of the others, looks ready to take us all on and win. A pink tongue darts out between his bared teeth, under his velvety black muzzle. He shouts angrily, his eyes flashing straight at me. "You will see. You cannot win against my father. He is the best fighter in the whole world." He thinks for a moment. "And you smell strange." Some of the watching animals titter, but the grizzled wolf snaps at the cub to be quiet and then pulls back on his haunches, ears pointed, hacks raised and teeth bared. He growls a deep shuddering sound. Just a few meters in front of him, the stag paws the earth and lowers his head. There's a flitter-flutter behind me, and I turn to see the pigeons who have dropped down into the grass. "Can you stop this?" I ask them. It is the animal way. "But what about the berry eye, the reason you brought me here? What about me? What will happen if the stag loses?" "Then you will belong to the wolf." I stagger up. My voice sounds light and far away, like it's coming out of a hole in the ground. I wave woozily at the stag. "Stop! Listen to me. You have to stop this." He mutters under his breath. "Do not interfere in our affairs. This is our custom." Suddenly, the wolf launches himself at the stag with a roar. They must have heard all the way to Spectrum Hall. The deer tosses his horns and deflects him, but an outstretched paw catches his rear flank, scoring a long, glistening red gash down the side. He cries out in pain. The grizzled wolf, knocked but not down, snarls and prepares for his next blow. I have to do something. The last animals in the whole world. I have to take them to Dad. I take a few dizzy steps forward. From the grass, the pigeons coo with worry. "Please don't do anything you might regret, Kester." "Kester, I don't regret anything," shouts the white pigeon proudly. The stag runs for a second time at the wolf, who lunges right back, drawing blood from his neck. The clang of stag horns against the thick muscle of the wolf sounds like a sword hitting a wooden block. The other members of the wolf pack start to draw in. I notice the young cub hang back, as if he is uncertain what to do, his green eyes flicking anxiously from me to the stag and to his father and back. Maybe the pigeons are right, but it's either do something you might regret time or get torn apart limb from limb time. I stand up and walk between them. There are gasps from the animal's audience. The grizzled wolf roars, "Get out of the way, human, or face your fate now." The stag, even though he's wounded, nods slowly. "Have faith in me, boy. Let us settle this our way." "No! Look at yourselves. Look at what you're doing. Look at all these sick animals." I point to the group of molting creatures watching us from a distance. The gaggle of cowering badgers, shivering deer, and eagles with drooping necks. "Look at them. They need your help. What good does it do if you tear each other apart?" The wolf stalks towards me. I find myself staring him right in the mouth, a mouth curled up with hate. "You brought about the disease, human." He doesn't know that. No one knows how the disease started. That is all humans bring with them, disease and death. So first I will destroy the traitor that brought you here. It is the duty of a wilderness only to lead his wild to safety, not invite intruders in. He licks his lips with a purple tongue. And then we will destroy you. The other 6 wolves crowd behind him in a semicircle, growling and flashing their teeth. But what if the human magic could help? Asked the stag. Lies and trickery, like this human child talking in our common tongue. The wolf spits. You were not appointed guardians of the world. We were, by common contest of all. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. Then why have you not protected us from the berry eye? Calls out a snake, his tongue flickering. Yes, comes a cry from an owl in the treetops. You cannot save us from that. Only the human magic can. The grizzled wolf turns on them all. Silence! Where is your faith? We must protect you all till now. Have we not? The natural order must be maintained, whatever the cost. The animals shuffle edgily. Then one voice rings out from the crowd, a high, weak voice. It's the young she-deer, the first one I saw come down to the lake. You only want to keep us for your prey. You do not understand. The plague will kill all of us, and then, where will your natural order be? There is uproar. An oversized, scruffy cat shouts her down. Have faith, our guardians will protect us. Some of the birds began to wail. One of the wolf pack yells at them to be quiet, but they can't be calmed. We are doomed. What will become of our wild? A boar trots up onto the white boulder behind me, his tusks bristling. I have taken to the white rock, so hear me. The animals slowly shut up. The boar looks out at them and continues. The guardians are right. The human child cannot and should not help us. I for once do not believe the old dreams about the voice. The humans have been killing us and driving us from their land since they learnt to live apart. Why should they try to find a cure? The grizzled wolf gives a condescending smile to the boar. But he has the voice, calls out another creature from the crowd. The old dreams must be right. In among the cries and arguments, I barely hear the stag whispering in my head. Jump on my back, now. I don't take in what he says at first. I can't take my eyes off the wolf, who's turned his back to us, his hackles raised as far as they will go, trying to calm the animals down. The stag is insistent. His dark eyes flash and he kneels down in front of me. Now, Kester, he says, now or never. Everything I've ever been taught about not touching animals is forgotten in an instant, and I haul myself onto his back, grabbing a tuft of fur between my hands. It's tangled with seeds and dried mud. I can smell the hot, sweet tang of blood from his injured leg. Hold on, he warns. The stag takes a breath and then, with a giant leap, jumps clean over the head of the grizzled wolf, landing with a leapy thump in the ferns on the other side. I half slide off his furred back, only just clinging on. The pigeons flock up from the ground into the sky. Cowards! Pipes up a voice from my jacket pocket. I look down to see 2 orange antennae curling out of it. Stop them! Roars the grizzled wolf from the shore. Hunt them down! And the wolves, all 7 of them, begin to run after us, their howls rising up into thin air. I barely have time to pull myself back up before the stag is galloping away through the trees. He runs in big strides, and every time he leaps, I rise in the air before, coming down hard on his spine. The trees are narrow and close together, and the deer's horns are so wide. I flinch as we scrape through. He weaves and turns like he's following an invisible path through the undergrowth, sniffling the way. But all I can see are ferns, and all I can smell is fear. Bravo! Yells the general as we narrowly escape being whacked in the chest by a fallen trunk. The chase is on, full march ahead. Stay down, urges the stag. Get as low as you can. There's a crashing behind us, the sound of breaking wood. I turn around and see the wolves spread out in a line, piling through the trees. The ground rises and falls beneath us. There's a snout on my left. The grizzled wolf is running just behind us, not even out of breath, but laughing. You know that if you desert your precious animals now, we will never allow you to return. The stag ignores him and suddenly veers off to the right, jumping clean down into a huge ditch. Tricked, the wolf tries to do a sharp turn, but slips in a pile of leaves and tumbles over before righting himself and pounding hard on our tail. Fastest is not always best, jeers the general after him as we shoot away down the gully. But with a triumphant snarl, the grizzled wolf skids to a halt and calls after us. It does not matter. You cannot escape now.